In 1989, Hollywood converged on a northern Louisiana town to tell the story of 6 southern women, classically known today as the Steel Magnolias. Well, not only does Natchitoches, Louisiana have scenery fit for Hollywood, but they also have Maison, Louisiane bed and breakfast. Join us as we talk with innkeeper Pam Steele, walk through a little history, and maybe wrestle a few alligators on this edition of In the Know Online.
Hey, wake up, sleepyhead. Grab the little uns. Get your friends to follow along, even the strange ones. Grab a little lunch, because we're going to the Natchitoches Alligator Park. The alligators are waiting, and they're hungry. They just want to play. Yup, it's a time to remember.
See you later, alligator.
Welcome back to In the Know Online. We're talking with Pam Steele from Maison, Louisiana bed and breakfast here in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Natchitoches is such a unique town.
It is the oldest settlement in the Louisiana Purchase. 1714 was when it was founded. There is a lot of history here and a lot of culture. People in the town take pride in that. We've gone to great lengths to preserve our historic buildings, our historic town.
And I know that we mentioned this in our intro, that they have filmed Steel Magnolias here in the late 80s, and there's been several other big Hollywood productions filmed here. The scenery around town just lends itself to picture taking and filming. What I also found unique was driving around the corner, we saw bed and breakfast everywhere.
Yes, ma'am. We are the bed and breakfast capital of Louisiana.
Wow.
There's approximately 37 of them. We're all unique in our own right. Maison, Louisiane is unique in the fact that I host a lot of special events here. We do a lot of weddings, anywhere from an elopement to, a 200 guest event. We do chocolate-covered strawberries and champagne, and we do a wedding cake, and so we try and make each event its own special, unique event. I have hosted the governor's program on abstinence. We've done some meetings here, so I'm kind of in with some of the locals that work on government programs, and they meet in the house and they stay in the house, which is nice rather than being cooped up in a hotel meeting room. What else? We've been on the tour of homes at Christmas time, the candlelight tour.
Now, I noticed that you have a guest house. That's something that we didn't see with a lot of the bed and breakfasts. There were a few, but not a lot of them had guest house. Tell us about that guest house. We got to stay in the guest house.
You still have the bed and breakfast atmosphere, but you have a little bit more privacy because you're out and down the drive, but the kids can play in the yard, the dogs can play in the yard. We're open to all animals as long as they're not dangerous, I guess.
Now, one thing that I found very unique about that guest house out back is that it is handicap accessible.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Which is something that we have not run into yet. A lot of bed and breakfasts are multi-level, but this particular unit is laid out in such a way that there's not a lot of furniture in there, so very easily a wheelchair could get in and around, as well as in the bathroom, and it's a nice place to be in a bed and breakfast, have a bed and breakfast atmosphere. You also take breakfast out to the little guest house out there if they request it. So they would never have to come to the main house and contend with steps or anything like that. Now, the main house itself is a lot different from the guest house. The guest house is a little bit more modern than the main house. Now, tell us about this beautiful, beautiful home. It's very, very old, I understand.
It is. It was built in the 1890s by a man named John Ruska, and he had 9 children. Prior to building this house, they were living across the street on the riverside of the street, and Mrs. lived in one house with the girls, and Mr. lived in the house directly next door with the boys. So when the 9th child was born, they decided to come together under one roof, so hence he built this home. We have 3 bedrooms upstairs and a bedroom downstairs. All rooms are decorated differently. The ceilings downstairs are 16 feet, and upstairs they are 14 feet. We tried to keep as much of the original fixtures as we could. Most of the windows are still the original leaded glass. The front doors upstairs and downstairs are original. The pocket doors behind us are original. The floors upstairs are original, as well as the staircase and the banisters. So when the restoration happened back in 2001, everything that they could keep, they tried their best to keep. I have the Claiborne room, which I consider my crowning glory. It is the largest room in the house. It's also known as the honeymoon suite. It has a cypress teaster bed with a matching armoire that was made by a furniture maker here in town. His name is George Olivier. The other room is Wilkinson. That room is more of a, I call it Bombay style. It's elephants and monkeys and palm trees and pineapples and that's a king-size bed, and it has a custom, seamless, two-person glass shower, as well as a claw-footed tub. And then my third room upstairs is Lasat. That room is done in a red toile, and the story behind the toile in that room is it is the first balloon launch, hot air balloon launch in France. That's where hot air balloons were invented. So there's a story behind the wallpaper and the fabric on the duvet, and that's a full-size bed. All my rooms have private baths. And then I have one other room in the main house downstairs, and that's the library room. It's got an armoire that's filled with books, hence library. And that room has a jacuzzi tub and shower, and the decorating in that bathroom is a cabana-type style. Now tell us about the table and everything that you had for breakfast this morning. We can set 10 at that table, and I've served up to 16 in that room. We've moved in other tables, and for breakfast we had caramel French toast and scrambled eggs, sausage and fresh fruit, juice and coffee. Okay. What are the attractions here in this town? There's always a good time to be had here. Every Saturday morning we have a green market down on the river during the summer months, and there's the shops, the antiques shops, the gift shops. The restaurants are fabulous. Louisiana is also known for a certain animal. Alligators. Alligators. Yes. We have alligators. We have an alligator park. We have a Fort St. Jean-Baptiste. It's a fort that was recreated, a French fort. They've got a wonderful display that they've done of the Indian people and the French people and what went on in those times. And then as you make your way down the path into the fort itself, the employees are great about being in character. They really are in character. You feel like you're walking back in time. And Pam, we've had a wonderful time here. This has been an experience and a half. I would recommend that fish to anyone who is looking for the perfect vacation spot. And absolutely, come and stay with Pam at Maison, Louisiane. I have a website. It's MaisonLouisiane.com. And I do also have a toll-free number. It's 1-800-264-8991. You can view this and other interviews on our website at www.intheknowonline.com. Until next time, I'm Maison.